You laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out. Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. I can't see it. All right, you guys. Hi, everybody. We are back, and today is Thursday, and it is the end of my third week doing radio for the first time ever. So thank you so much for joining me. I, for some reason, am not able to see myself right now on Ustream, so I'm hoping that you guys can. Okay, let's see. He says refresh it. But I wanted to... nothing, just for the record, Ellen. Okay, there we go. I wanted to just kind of talk about some of the things that we're going to be having coming up. The biggest news, of course, for anybody who's following me on Facebook or Twitter or any other social outlet is on Tuesday's show, I have the absolute privilege of talking with Sebastian Junger, who is the Academy Award-winning director and writer of Restrepo, which is a documentary that is one of the most impacting documentaries I've ever seen. There you go. There's a picture of Sebastian, and that's actually outfitted. I'm not sure if that's in Restrepo or part of another thing that he worked on, which is War, which was a book that he worked on, and he was actually he integrated himself into a platoon or an infantry for a year in Afghanistan. But his work is some of the most profound work I've ever seen. He made Restrepo. I'll just tell you a little bit of background. We're going to actually go into detail about this on Tuesday, but he made Restrepo with Tim Hetherington. Both are journalists, and Sebastian is a contributing editor at Vanity Fair, and Tim is just one of the most known photographers and journalists in the industry. And I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe he's done some work for CNN as well. But both of which really are some of the most well-known journalists out there, and they have gone into some of the most dangerous situations, including what they did for Restrepo, which they went into the most dangerous fighting area in Afghanistan and made this entire film about war. But the most fascinating part of this movie was it's not actually about a party. It's not about opinion. It is solely what it's like to be at war. And that is really the brilliance of the movie. And I remember when I saw them or met them the first time at the Academy Foundation, I saw them for the Foreign Film Symposium, which is something I go to every year, which actually tickets go on sale February 1st. So I'm super excited to get my tickets for next year or for this year, as well as for the documentary shorts and feature documentaries. And anyways, when I heard them talk, the passion that they spoke with really just changed me. And I think it was the second day that they were there with the infantry. They were actually bombed in their tank. I'm not sure if it was the tank or the Humvee. I need to double check that. But they were bombed the second day that they were there. And it was just a wake-up call. Like, here we are. We're in the middle of war. Let's do this. And it was probably... I think every single person who watched, it was a 2-minute clip. I don't even know if it was 2 minutes. It might have been a minute and a half. But either way, the minute that happened, everybody just jumped. And it was such a reality that here are these two men who are not trained in the military, who went with a backpack filled with cameras, and not professional cameras. They wanted to just bring their Canon cameras because they knew that if something happened, they couldn't afford to replace super expensive equipment. And they just embedded themselves with these troops. And it's the story of what war is about. And there are some days where nothing's happening, but there's just this constant background noise of gunfire. And really, if you get a chance, please, before Tuesday, go to Netflix or wherever you go to get your movies, Redbox or wherever, and go rent Restrepo, and that's Restrepo. And they did get nominated and won the Oscar for that film, and there's a very good reason for it, so please check it out. And the beauty of that actually is that they were able to make that film together, which was one of the most profound, like I said, prolific films I think I've ever seen. But 6 months after the film was shown and won the Oscar, just about 6 months, Tim Hetherington was one of the journalists that had gone to Libya, and he, along with journalist Chris Andros, they were in a group of men that were attacked, and I think there was 5 journalists total, but Chris and Tim were both killed that day. And that led to the next film that Sebastian has worked on that is actually the story of Tim's life and death. And it was just at Sundance, and it was one of their key selections. So please look for that as well. It's called Which Way is the Front Line from Here, which is exactly what Tim would say. So anyways, that's that. And I'm just really, really honored that I have the opportunity to speak to him. And there's so much that we're going to cover. He has started an organization called Risk Training, which is RISC. And it's preparing journalists that are going in the field, because it is an alarming rate that these journalists are killed and injured, and there's really nothing there to save their lives, because medics are going to go to the military, of course, first. And it's these PACs that they're raising money for to make sure that these journalists are actually prepared to go into battle, and they have what they need in the event that they're hurt or injured in any way. Because what we found out later was that Tim's injuries, though they were severe, there's a good chance that his life could have been saved had he had the right equipment. And that, I think, just as a writer, thinking about, what you do to get a story. I mean, these men and women put their lives on the line to make sure that we get real news, not, unfortunately, it's not all the things that we see on TV, which are just so biased and so entertainment driven. They actually tell the real story, and they want to do this all in the name of trying to find some peace in this world. And anyways, that's it. So I don't want to get too heavy, because we'll talk about all of that on Tuesday when he is on the line, and he's actually going to spend the entire hour with me. And again, I could not be more thrilled to have him on. And you please tune in, because you will change the way you see just about everything in this world from listening to him speak. Then the other thing is, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things, completely the opposite of that. One is we have Rachel Wolfe calling in, and she was one of the photographers that I was able to interview for my recent issue of ATOD magazine. And her youthful spirit and just this wonderful air of who she is, I'm really looking forward to having her on and just kind of talking about some of her projects, including oh gosh, if I can remember the name of it. She actually has a project where she photographs lint. She literally took lint out of the dryer and just photographed it in all these different ways, and it's legit. Like, she didn't stage it. She just took lint out of the dryer and put it in a little ball when she took it off the screen, and there you have it. And it's amazing to me that something like lint could actually have a character, could make you feel something, and that just is a testament to who she is as an artist. I also want to talk about Charles White, who I interviewed also for my and we'll show a clip in a little while. We don't have to show a clip right now, but we're going to show a clip in a little bit. But he is the subject of Roman Coppola's latest film, and if you have been on any late night TV, you would have seen Charlie Sheen all over the place, and he's actually promoting this movie. And I'm waiting to hear back about my press passes, but I should be able to go see the talk on Monday and be able to see the premiere on Tuesday. And if you get a chance on Monday, please go to ArcLight in Hollywood, or get your tickets now to listen to Charles White, who is, again, the subject of the movie. And it's just a lovely look at his life as an illustrator, and he just had a wild life. And he, this was in the 60s and the 70s, and all kinds of craziness was happening. But it's just this kind of toggling between fantasy and reality. So it's fun and sexy and just crazy weird, and it makes you feel very entertained. And of course, there's a love story and just a twisted sort of how can I explain this? Just this sort of self-discovery, I guess. And you see this, this is one of the first big films that Charlie's done since his public meltdown. So we're talking about Charlie Sheen now. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that. And of course, hopefully you guys are watching Anger Management, his new show. But anyways, I was just honored to interview Charlie White, and now he's one of my dearest friends. He's an incredible artist, and has done so much in the art world. So if you get a chance, please go to atodmagazine.com and go under the interviews section of the magazine, and you will see his name is under there. You can also, of course, just open up atodmagazine.com, and you'll see issue number 1 and a link to all of the interviews that I've done this last issue. So that is that. And I am also going to talk about something that I never talk about, which is, I was listening to Ryan Seacrest this morning, and I'm sure most of you know who Ryan Seacrest is, and if you don't, you clearly have never watched TV or turned on a radio, because he's everywhere. But I would have to say he's probably the hardest working man in the entertainment industry. I think he's up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and does not stop until probably midnight. But anyways, he has a segment on his radio show called Ryan's Roses, and if you've never heard it, it's really disturbing, actually. because the whole concept of this is that women or men will call in, and they have their one of their associates there, Patty. She'll call and she'll pretend that she's calling from she calls from like a made up flower shop, and tells the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or the girlfriend that she's giving them a free dozen roses and they can send them to whoever they want, and there's no stipulation. She doesn't need any billing information, blah blah blah. So of course they're like, hey, free roses. But it's a total trap, because it's this whole methodology that they send it, I'd say 8 out of 10 times these guys or girls are sending them to the person that they're cheating on their person with. And that just, while it's absolutely crazy, and I'm not saying people shouldn't get caught, because I definitely think that it's ridiculous, but it just made me think about what we're doing in this world, because there is a staggering statistic, and I have a whole list of statistics here, but based on people who actually admit to having an affair, 57% of men commit infidelity, 54%. Now, these are just who admit it. If you go by who's not admitting it, but who actually will say it off record, it's about 80%, and that is staggering. So I kind of want to touch on that more, about not to just go, not to go too crazy in terms of getting too deep, and I'm not a relationship expert in any way, shape, or form, but I do want to talk about what we're doing in this world and why it's so easy. I personally get emails on Facebook that just make my stomach turn, and they're from married men, and they send me these messages, and I just have to, ignore them and delete them. And it's ridiculous to me that they think that that's a appropriate forum to do anything at all, but I know it happens. And so I kind of want to discuss that idea of social media, and does it contribute to infidelity? And then, of course, talk about why I'm even discussing this at all, which is something that we'll get to. We're about to take a break in a minute. I can't believe already 15 minutes have passed. But when we come back, I'm actually going to talk to Rachel Wolfe for a little while and have her on the line and just kind of talk about her art and everything. And then we will get back to this topic. And then we're going to talk about, too, what's to come in February. There's an absolutely impressive lineup of people coming in the show, including 3 musical artists. And I'm really, really excited about everybody that's coming in. So stay tuned for that, and we will touch on that in just a second. Are we ready to take our first break? Okay. All right, so we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we have Rachel Wolfe on the line. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This segment brought to you by the Monster Marketing Group, 888-49-MONSTER, or www.monstermg.com. Your one-stop shop for all of your logo, design, print, and marketing needs. You can dream it, they can create it.
And remember, they specialize in doing it quick.
And remember, if you mention you heard about them and the 3 guys ran, you get 25% off your first order.
Over $10,000.
Design, shipping, and handling not included. This product is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or to prevent any disease. If you have an erection that's more than 4 hours, call another hooker. Don't go to the ER, loser. Use it or lose it.
We are the 3 guys every Monday live from 6 to 7 p.m.
You can call us at 855-69-THE3GUYS.
It's not the 3 guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. All right, you guys, we are back, and I believe we have Rachel on the line now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get her on the line. Hello. Is this Rachel?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So you're actually on the air now.
All right, sweet.
So for those of you who don't know, this is Rachel Wolfe, who is a really, really talented photographer, and was one of the photographers that I interviewed in my last issue of ATOD magazine. So first, thanks for coming on. I know this was totally last minute, but I'm really excited that you had the time to come on. And just kind of talk about you. So, so if you,
I'm just happy to be here, and thank you.
You're very welcome. So, tell me, or tell actually listeners a little bit about just kind of about you and some of the work that you do as a photographer, and kind of how that came to be, if you don't mind.
Okay.
You can start with basically, how you got started as a photographer and what your latest
right.
project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, photography was something that I really liked ever since I was a little girl. I would dress with my friends and be like, okay, I'm going to pose you this way and that way. It was just like fun. And, kind of along the way, you hear the story a lot. People, they get caught up in other things. They don't think that what they want to do is possible, or,
right.
That whole story. And that became my story for a little while, but photography was just always there. And it wasn't until after college that I read Edward Weston's daybooks, and
right, yes.
by the suggestion of a very good friend of mine and mentor, and many other things. And so I started reading these books and daybooks by Edward Weston, and I was just like, oh my God, this man's me. I'm a girl living, 30 years later, 40, I don't know, do math.
Right.
He was kind of doing his thing out there in California and Mexico, and I was just like, he lives the life that I wanted to live, and it's possible.
Right.
So I'm going to try to do this. And so that was like 2006 or 7, I don't know. And so I've just kind of gone about my way, my life has been a series of wild, crazy, serendipitous, strange, horrifying, beautiful.
Just means you're closer.
You name it, ride. And photography has kind of been a voice for me, because I also write, and I can never articulate myself. Even though some people, oh, you're a great writer, you speak well, or you get your point across, I never feel like I am. Right,
so photography is more your
right.
modality of voice.
Right. So because a lot of the things that I'll write or say are only things that I'm kind of comfortable with saying or sharing.
Right.
So I can tap into kind of the things that make me uncomfortable to think about, or that I'm curious in.
So now,
and explore that. Okay,
so with that said, because I really think it's pretty phenomenal that you can take something like lint, or hyper burn pieces of fruit to create characters almost. And I feel like you give inanimate objects a voice. And I know that you have other work as well, but to me, is it? Are you saying Otis, or do you just say ODIC?
Oh, I say Odic on that one.
Okay, so Odic, and then AOAS. All, and then even 90,000 miles. I think all those projects, they all have a very distinct voice. They all have a very different feel to them, but your imprint is visible for sure. And that's considering that you're relatively new in the world of doing this professionally. That's a real gift, which is one of the reasons I wanted to interview you. And
thank you. That is like so incredible to hear. It's like it's hard to believe, really. But thank you for saying that. And,
you're welcome.
But you said it right there. That's exactly things. To me, I guess I do project like personality onto everything in my life, the inanimate objects, and so I photograph those a lot because I am kind of projecting whatever that personality that I'm feeling in myself or seeing in somebody else in my life, and I'm kind of like taking it out or through these objects that,
which is
I don't know, and that's kind of part of my whole. I'm interested in how we assign meaning in life, because if you look at what's happening in life, it is meaningless, really. It's just a series of events that happen. There's just objects that are out there. I mean, if you completely make everything objective, which nothing
and I'm the opposite.
Ever truly be.
Where I'm like the total opposite, where I assign emotion and feeling to everything.
Right. Well, and so then I'm able to observe myself doing that, because of course I do that. I'm human. We all do this.
Right.
And so I'm really just interested in like why and how we do this and how powerful it is.
And I have to say, actually, the apples, the 4 pieces of apple, I think that to me is one of the most loud pieces that you have in terms of every piece. It's almost like a progression of. I mean, and I don't know how you intended it, but from somebody like me who's observing it, that particular series, the apples, to me, it's just like every piece is a progression of feeling. And every it's so, I don't know if you intentionally set them up like that or if that just was, as luck would have it, how they came about. But I really think that particular picture is spectacular.
Oh, thanks. That was the first one.
Was it? Oh, so it was the most raw. That's awesome.
The first one that I did. So I was like, because like a lot of things, I kind of have the idea, I want to do it, but it really, for some reason, takes me a lot of working up to do it, because I'm like, no, that's stupid. Like that, no. and so that was like the first one. You're so good. And it's intuitive. The whole thing's intuitive. It really is. I don't know anything about what I'm doing. I mean,
but that's okay. You shouldn't.
I study about it. I read about it. I'm interested in it. I'm totally in it. But it's like intuitive. It's all about just being in it and letting it kind of come through you. And so that was the first one. And when I did that, I was like, this is getting it across. I feel what I feel inside. I feel when I look at this. And okay, maybe I'll keep trying this out.
And so you cooked them at like 475 degrees. Is that what it was? Some insane. Right. I was reading how you were cooking something else, like broccoli or something like that, and you decided, I'm just going to throw these in there and leave them in and see what happens.
Right. Well, I was kind of like, when was this? I was like really getting into roasting vegetables for the first time in my life. I was like, why did I done this? This is amazing.
Right.
But at the same time, I was also kind of starting to play around with like moving into like a vegan diet or other things like that. So I was like, I was aware of drying, fruit, and I was like, I really want a dehydrator, but I didn't have one, so I
you dehydrated it yourself
by doing like low temperature for a long time. So I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what will happen if I stick this stuff in here, because I'm interested in remnants. I'm interested in what people throw away and how we consume things, and
you're gonna have
what that means, and the energy, like literal transmission of energy. When you burn stuff, energy is let off, and all of that stuff. And so I just did that. And
so sorry, we're gonna have to wrap this up in a second.
Oh, cool.
I just really, I wanted to also say. I thought it was hysterical that your parents probably thought you were crazy when you were starting to collect lint.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it went on for so long, and I would kind of get rid of it, and then we'd collect more. And then my mom actually kind of caught on board. She
started collecting it.
Check this out. I saved this link for you. I was like, aww.
So now, really quick, do you have any, I know you had one collection in, is it Santa Fe? Or where was the...
right. Oh,
yes.
Southern Santa Fe. Yeah, their website. Yeah, they're a great organization for photographers, and I just want to join up with them and get involved in what they're doing there. So...
But do you have any exhibitions planned or kind of on the docket? I have like literally 60 seconds.
Oh, right. Well, right now I'm looking for options for exhibiting these two series of works because they've never been exhibited before. Everything's just been in the past. I'm a student and I work, and I'm also an artist, so I just kind of do what I can when I can. So nothing right now, but we will anticipate soon.
Well, I hope so. And anybody who wants to visit your website, please look at her collections. It's at Rachel Wolfe, and that's WOLFE.com. And on Facebook, is Rachel Wolfe Photography?
Rachel Wolfe Photography. The URL is actually Rachel Wolfe with an E.
Okay.
Is a person. Rachel Wolfe is a person.
Okay, there you go. So find her, and then what's your Twitter?
Hell yeah.
So that's
HOWLYA.
Is that like a play on hell yeah?
Yeah, that's right. It's a hell yeah, but it's a hell yeah.
But that's the Chicago way, right?
For sure.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on. We have to take our next break, and I just hope that we keep seeing more of your work because I'm excited to see what you're doing because I just think you're going to keep evolving as a photographer and an artist.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a really good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. So before we take a quick break, just keep in mind that when we come back, we're going to talk really quick about some relationship stuff. And then I'm going to have Arvin come in here to talk about the rest of his Arvin's adventures. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about my intern's first day. She had a pretty exciting first day on Tuesday. We had, of course, in studio guests Jadina and Chris, or Big Daddy Wolfe, which was amazing. If you haven't seen it, please go to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Dawn, DAWN Garcia, ATOD. And then that evening we actually went to Vosges. And I don't know if we can pull those up yet, but that's okay if we don't pull them up before the break. When we come back, though, we'll have some pictures because we had like half-naked people serving chocolate. We had blindfolded lipstick application. So basically it looked like we went to some kind of S&M club, but really we went to a chocolate club. We went to a really, really, really high-end chocolate store in Beverly Hills. So when we come back, we will talk about that. And I know we're about to take our next break. Is that right? All right. So stay tuned. We will be back in just a little bit, and we'll talk about all things. Okay? Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This segment sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
This is Anthony Sykes, the host of Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. Check us out every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. here on the RantRadioNetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on RantRadioNetwork.com. That's RantRadioNetwork.com.
Check it out.
This segment has been brought to you by Coco Cafe. It's a cafe latte coconut water with espresso. And I came across this wonderful little drink just recently, And it has to be one of the best things I've ever had. I'm pretty obsessed with cocoa water and espresso, so the thought of it together was a little bit, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but my gosh, let me tell you, it's super tasty. It's made with natural coconut water, a strong shot of espresso, and a splash of reduced fat milk. You can visit them online for more information at drinkcococafe.com. Once again, I want to thank everyone at Coco Cafe for being a sponsor of this radio show. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. All right, you guys, we're back, and I am going to talk about the one topic that I was talking about before, it stemmed from Ryan's Roses, no pun intended, or maybe all puns intended, but it was about relationships and cheating. And the reason, somebody actually had written on my page that I should not talk about things like that, but however, ATOD magazine is about living life and lifestyle, and that means taking pleasure in everything. However, that doesn't mean taking pleasure outside of what you're supposed to be taking pleasure in. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I think it's really interesting. I actually think I hear more and more from guys and girls that a lot of people have cheated and are cheating, and it seems to be a lot more acceptable in society, and I'm not entirely sure why. I do think a lot of it has to do with technology, which I've said this time and time again, actually. I think the fact that we have so much at our fingertips, and we're sort of this really, everything has to happen so quickly that I think we're losing sight of what really matters in this world. So the reason I'm even talking about this is it does have a lot to do with my magazine and why I created this magazine. When I was just kind of on my own, I used to have a lot of stressful stuff happening when I was growing up, and I had a lot of death and just things that I didn't really know what to do with. And it started from a very young age and kind of went into my teenage years. And I think from then on, I had to find a way to have some kind of sense of solace. And I would find solace in two things. And one was in writing, and the other one was just sitting at the beach. But when I would sit at the beach, I would just sit on the sand, and I would usually go somewhere like, I love to go to Santa Monica because I was from Santa Monica and I didn't live there anymore. So I would go to Santa Monica, or my sister's friends and I would ditch school, and thank God she would take me with her. And we would go to Zero's or Zuma or wherever, these great California beaches. And in the process of doing that, though, I would walk around. And then, of course, when I had my license and I was able to go, or I had friends that had a car, we would ditch school and we would go to the beach. And it was when I was on like the Venice boardwalk, and I would just kind of start observing what was happening around me. So it started out with just being on the ocean and on the sand, and then quickly turned into me being so fascinated with what was actually happening. And it was that I would discover a local artist that was just doing street art or selling their stuff, and not all of it, was the greatest thing I'd ever seen, but it was the idea that here were these people, these total strangers, just putting themselves out there, showing the world what they were creating, and that kind of opened a whole new side to myself. And then, of course, I would go into these hole-in-the-wall restaurants, and it'd be like the best tacos you ever had, or you'd get really sick, or there would be great sushi, and again, there would be sushi that was like, did you get this? Where'd you get this? But the process of doing that just kind of showed me how much there was to experience. And so when I created this magazine and I started writing about wonderful chefs and great restaurants that I discovered, some of them were high end, some of them were a little bit more kind of raw and urban and a little bit more rustic, that started a process. And of course that led to me spending more time at museums. And now, thanks to the amazing publicist Kim Werther and so many other publicists that have started to reach out to me, I now get to go to theater. And of course, for those of you who don't know, I actually worked at the LA Opera when I first started doing makeup. So, and I got to work with Placido Domingo and these really incredibly talented individuals. But that kind of was why I created this magazine, because I thought, the one thing that I always hated was I didn't have anybody to really experience some of those things with. Like, those seemed like very solitary, just very solitary moments. And I thought, God, it would just be great if I could teach people who were couples or even singles that just needed something to do to kind of go out there and do something. So why I was so bothered today, again, listening to Ryan's Roses, because it always seems like they're cheating. It's very rare that they actually say, send them to my wife. It was just this moment where I thought, gosh, I created all these outlets. I interview all these really just profoundly deep human beings who see the world in a very different way. And I wanted to share who those people were with all of you so that people who were married and bored could find things like honey or eating very sexy and just sort of awaken something sensual within their relationships. Or if they were bored, to go out and experience a museum and just open your mind. Even if you hated the experience, it would be a bonding experience because you and your significant other would be able to have something to talk about. Because I do think that a lot of this cheating happens because people are just bored and they kind of stop trying, and one or the other or both stop taking care of themselves and doing things like that. And honestly, this is life and we're supposed to live it well. And I think we should be as sexy as we can possibly be in every aspect of our lives, in how we eat, how we dress, how we go and experience living and art and just even vacationing. I mean, and I don't mean sexy like, sorry to use this term, I don't mean like hooking it up. I mean like dressing to make yourself feel beautiful, or for a man to make him, like back in the day, men used to dress, they were so debonair, they always dressed to the nines. And I know that we don't live in a world like that anymore, but there's no reason you can't have that mentality. And I think that would be really helpful for relationships. And so when you do go visit my magazine, try to keep in mind that I'm showing you the things that I feel are the most passionate and beautiful aspects of who we are as individuals and who we are as a human race. I think it can benefit a lot of couples to go to a museum and go see some really cool exhibition, or sit down at a meal and try blindfolding yourselves. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Just experience something that would allow you to be a little bit more playful. And I'm not saying that that's going to cure our infidelity issue, but I do think that if people were willing to try more things together, then it might actually change the scope of things. And for people like me who are single and pretty much hate the dating world because it's crazy, I still think that there's a lot of things that you can do with your friends, or just finding people who have similar interests. I mean, those kinds of things fill so many voids in your life, and I just think it's important. So that's why I wanted to kind of touch on that. And I was reading this, somebody had responded to my posting on Facebook and said that he thinks that that men and women cheat for different reasons. And he writes, men cheat because of physical desire to keep that mentality that they still have it. It's kind of like that youthful mentality, where women do it because they start to feel like they're not desired by their significant other. And even in same-sex marriages, or same-sex relationships, it's the same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter who your significant other is or what you're doing. I think everybody needs to feel wanted and desired. I think that's super important. And so expanding your world and seeing things differently, it's only going to make things more fun and more playful. And in my world, I think that just makes for a very sexy individual. The more you experience, the more you're willing to take chances, the more you're willing to try different things and not get stuck in the rut. I think that's really, really important. So that's kind of what that spawned on for me, was just, look at the magazine from a different perspective and listen to the show with a different perspective. I want to do what I'm doing because I think there's a lot to be enjoyed in this life. There's a lot to indulge in. And I say just dive right in and, find something really provocative within yourself, and don't be afraid of it. Just embrace it, and then, use that to make your life a lot more colorful and fun. And, and don't be afraid of sexy. There is nothing wrong with feeling sexy at all. And women should feel super empowered, and men should feel the same. And it shouldn't be this weird competition that you need to fill the void with a bunch of other people. I think, the beauty is I surround myself with so many interesting people because there's no way that I can get that from a single human being. And it has nothing to do with any kind of sexual anything. It's so much more about, we all have different interests, and just taking the sexuality out of it and just learning about who people are. I think that just opens the door to such a much more enriched life. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about that particular topic. But I do want to just give you like a couple statistics that were absolutely mortifying. Again, it was the admitting that they cheated. And then it says the average length of an affair is 2 years. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, you guys are like the master liars. You should be in the CIA. You should be like super spies. And I'm dying to know how, in God's name, you can keep that up, because I don't know how anybody could do that for 2 years without like getting caught. Or I think it's crazy to me. So anyways, not a big fan of the cheating. And I think we've all experienced it from one side of the spectrum or another. But yeah, I think just make yourself more interesting and find your person that you're with more interesting. And if you are not happy, have the guts to be okay with not being happy and make a difference and do something to change that. So that's all I want to say. I'm going to bring Arvin in here. Can you get Arvin? I'm going to bring he's my Guillermo, everyone. I've now officially labeled him that, and I've decided on another note that, you know how on Jimmy Kimmel he's always saying, sorry, we don't have time for Matt Damon, but yet he gets Matt Damon. The person who I want on my show is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, actually. I think it would be pretty amazing to have them both on here because they do so much in this world, and they are very, very not typical of Hollywood. They stay out of the limelight. When they do have conversations, they're very real and raw, and so not, look at me. There's so much more about the introspective sort of mentality of how they see things. And come on in. So yes, I'm going to put that out there. I would love to have time for Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. So if you are listening in some small way, or if just the universe is listening, come on my show. I want to talk about movies and just the stories that you can tell. Come on. I'm bringing he's my Guillermo. I'm going to call him my Guillermo. This is Arvin. And you can't be off camera. You got to be on camera. Can he come over here? Come on. No, you got to come on camera. All right, I'm bringing him. So here's Arvin, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things I'm going to make him do because I want him to find the sexy in life outside of spam. So there he is. You see him? So he's my producer, and I have to say on a side note, greatest guy, really. The guys I work with and Claudia, my honorary woman, and my assistant now. I have the coolest group of human beings that I get to work with, and they just make my job so much more fun. So there you go. Here's Arvin. Okay, so we have to take a break in a second, but I still want you to tell a little bit. You just talk.
You want me to talk? I don't even know if my microphone's on. I can't hear myself.
Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, wait.
Am I good?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you at all. Oh.
How about now? Can you hear me?
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, he had to turn it on. Look at that, genius.
I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Here.
So anyways.
Can you talk? See if you can hear yourself.
I'll talk. I can't hear myself, but I'm good. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. Well, all right. So I just want to know, we need to fix the camera a little bit, but here, I'll scoot over this way. There we go.
We're good.
All right. He doesn't want to be on camera. He's all shy. Come on, my Guillermo. I know you're going to hate me for saying that, but okay. So
that actually is my middle name.
Probably is. All right. So tell everybody about what you did. We talked a little bit about the book signing, but
oh, I thought we were talking about sexy. Did I skip that segment?
So what is your opinion on why you think people cheat so much? Oh, we have to take a break, really? Can we have like 30 seconds? No. All right. We have to take a break. We have our sponsors. So
we should talk about it during the break. People don't need to hear.
They do. I think it's fascinating. All right. We're going to take a quick break, you guys. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
We are the Three Guys every Monday live from 6 to 7 p.m.
You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 Three Guys, Guys, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
This segment brought to you by the Monster Marketing Group, 888-49-MONSTER, or www.monstermg.com. Your one-stop shop for all of your logo, design, print, and marketing needs. You can dream it, they can create it.
And remember, they specialize in doing it quick.
And remember, if you mention you heard about them and the Three Guys ran, you get 25% off your first order.
Over $10,000.
Design, shipping, and handling not included.
This
product is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, to prevent any disease. If you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, call another hooker. Don't go to the ER, loser. Use it or lose it.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Great. Hi you guys, we're back. So really quick, you guys are really shy about calling, and I know you all interact with me online, so don't be afraid to call us. Talk to us about anything, and you don't have to be an expert. I don't want you to be an expert. I just want you to like living, right? So the minute you wake up and open your eyes and take a breath, you're good. So 855-693 4897. There we go. We're moving it. So there you go. Okay. So before we go back to the relationship talk really quick, I don't know if you guys have been on the magazine. He's covering his face with the Vosges chocolate, which is this amazing chocolate. But Trends Tuesday, Allie Levine has been so kind to donate her Trends Tuesday tips with all of us. So every week there'll be a new fashion tip, and this week she touches on designer Jamie Estelle. So please check out ATOD magazine under fashion under Trends Tuesday, and we'll go from there. So anyway, so we're gonna go back to that, but I also want to say that next week we're gonna start having the wonderful Corey Beasley. He is going to be doing a health and fitness tip every week. So I don't know if he's going to give us some workout, but he trains UFC and MMA fighters, and I got to work out with him when I used to live in Orange County, and I have never had my butt kicked so good in my life, and I looked amazing. So I really need to get back to that. So
I gotta say, we probably have the ultimate challenge in this office.
Oh my God, yes, we do. This would be Corey, if you're listening, this would be the thing to do.
Between the office staff, we can probably drop about 1,000 pounds.
Not including me. I can maybe drop 5, but yeah. Okay, so seriously, I think maybe 10. Let's go. I'm working in Hollywood. Maybe I should say 20, right? But yeah, so there's your challenge, Corey. Take it on. Come help us. Okay, so we were talking about cheating? Yeah. And so I want to know, like, what your take is as a man.
You know what? I personally don't really agree with it. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I mean, I've been single for most of my adult life. I can probably count my relationships on one hand, just because I'd rather be single and see people as opposed to cheat on somebody.
See, that's smart though.
And I've been completely honest. And again, I know we've talked about trying to keep the show clean. I think that's almost a challenge to women, because me being completely honest and telling them, look, you're not the only one. I think they think that they can change that, or they can somehow convince me to do otherwise.
That's actually true, because I know the more I say I'm single and I'm not interested in a relationship, I have to say that it is definitely like a challenge men feel that I'm offering to them, as if
I'm really not.
They're going to be the one.
And then when they turn into stalkers, it's saying.
Like, oh no, I have stalkers. Yeah. Crackbook, by the way, is the breeding ground for stalkers. Just FYI.
Yeah, I'll keep that to a minimum, because I just had a court date last week in regards to a stalker.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I actually remember meeting Susan. I think it's Takanua. I forget. That's
actually my stalker.
No, on Channel 11 on Fox, and she's had some serious issues as well. And I think it's just, I don't know what it is. There's this weird sense of neediness out there. They want to like win. Maybe is that what it is? They think they're going to win you over by stalking you.
But it's not a competition. That's what
I'm trying to say.
I mean, I heard you say 2 years.
Right.
The average affair.
I have to fix this. Sorry, you guys.
That's just ridiculous. I'm too busy to have a normal relationship for 2 years. I can't even imagine cheating with somebody for 2 years.
Yeah, we're the worst people to date, really, because we work too much.
I'll try to keep it as PG-13 as possible.
He can't.
But I think the Charlie Harper, let's be specific, the Charlie Harper philosophy works perfect for me.
Which is?
Pay professionals. If you have a professional housekeeper and
Heidi Fleiss, you've got your client right here.
No. I'm not saying I've never paid for it. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you have a woman to clean your house and you have a woman who takes care of you sexually, you don't really need a relationship.
Oh my gosh! All right, we're gonna go back to keeping this G-rated right now because I actually want to do hard journalism here. But that is a very interesting perspective. Okay, so we're gonna just change this right around now.
It's your show.
He's gonna have his own show, and it's gonna like the intro is gonna be like bow chicka bow.
We actually, in case you didn't know, we actually recorded the intros and outros last night.
Oh, I can't even imagine. So needless to say, we are running out of time a little bit. So I want to just touch on. I'm gonna make him go to the Stanley Kubrick exhibit because if you haven't been to the LA County Museum of Art, have you ever? Okay, I have a membership, and you're going.
Only Stanley I know is Stanley.
No, you need to go. Okay, so look, I do want to touch on really quick. I was really, really, really fortunate this last weekend to go to the LA Art Show, and
is this an exhibit?
Yes. Well, no, this is an exhibit now. This was various galleries. There was, I want to say there was over 100 different galleries that were represented. This is all from Axiom. This particular one is from Axiom Contemporary, which was my gallery of the year. So. These gentlemen that run this gallery pick some of the most endearing art that you've seen. It's all it's weird because they're very understated, yet the message is very clear. And it may not be to you, but the talent that they feature at their gallery is pretty extraordinary. And I was able to see Caldwell Snyder, which is a great gallery. All these things, by the way, you will soon know all about. You'll be able to spout off art galleries and artists, and you have to discover Jay Kelly, and this is Willie Riojas in Barcelona. So yeah, there's a lot that you need to learn, and you will.
Is it horrible that I don't think anything that's being shown right now is technically art?
It doesn't matter. That's okay if you don't. I mean, art is. It doesn't matter if you like it.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I just think real art would be something different, like beautiful sunset, beautiful woman, beautiful car, beautiful.
Okay, but that's fine. That's your perspective. So we're just going to broaden that.
Okay.
And you don't have to like any of it, but it will at least change a little bit how you see things. And again, it'll be on your own accord, and you will see things and you'll say that does not look like art to me, and that's totally fine. But I'm still making you go because
you look a little disappointed right now.
Oh no, it's fine. Hey, not everybody likes the same thing. This is the beauty of art. There are things that I look at and I just don't understand. Cars, however, I do understand.
Gentlemen, I need you to call in.
And a woman is a piece of art. I will say, man, not so much. Okay.
So we'll go back to the whole Seinfeld thing. Women are art. Men's bodies is just like an SUV going through the desert kind of thing.
That's probably true. Well done, Larry David. Okay, so I do want to say that the February lineup, really quick, is going to be absolutely the greatest broadcasting and programming on the radio, I think.
Period.
Period, right? It is, period. So Tuesday we have, like I said, the Oscar-winning director and writer Sebastian Junger. And I get the whole hour with him, and there will just be topics ranging from war to journalism to just all, being a recipient of so many awards. And then we're also going to have 3 bands performing all before right by Valentine's Day. So we have Sadie and the Blue-Eyed Devils that are playing on Thursday of next week. Pasión Gitana, which is playing, I don't have a picture for them, but they'll be playing on Tuesday on the 12th. And then on Valentine's Day, I have the uncompromising and incredibly talented, with, to me, one of the most beautiful voices as well that I've heard. And that's going to be Shauna Halligan, who was part of Bittersweet. So if you get a chance, go look them all up on YouTube, and I will post links to all of their sites. Everybody has a Facebook page. So again, that would be Sadie and the Blue-Eyed Devils and Pasión Gitana, and that's Pasion Gitana. And then Shauna Halligan. So, and that's Shana, and then her last name is Halligan. So please research them, listen to their music, listen to Delicate Dream. It is by far the most sexy, sensual video. I don't know. It's very suggestive. So if you want to get a chance to see something really beautiful, go check out her video before she's here on Valentine's Day. Monday is Arclight.
No, continue. I'll come back to that. I'm
okay, before we end, we actually have a question for him. So I do want to say that on Monday, like I said, is going to be the talk with Charlie White at the ArcLight Cinema, and then I'm assuming that the filmmakers will be there, so I'm hoping that Roman is listening now and that we get a chance to meet, and I would love to have him on as well and just talk about some of his projects, because his dad, Francis Ford Coppola, is the reason I really became a writer to begin with. So
he's related to Nicolas Cage, then.
Yes, that's his cousin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sofia Coppola.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very grateful to that family, because creatively speaking, Francis could not have been a cooler gentleman, and really just encouraged me along with Adrienne Broder when she was at Zoetrope All Story. So there's a lot of love I have for them, and I think that I love all the offbeat films that he creates, because they're just totally whatever he dreams up is on the screen, and the way that he shoots, there's nobody else that can do what he does. And of course, Jason Schwartzman, I love that he's in every movie. So, and Bill Murray. So, and Tilda Swinton, I think, is in the last movie that they did. But anyways, Bill Murray will be in this one, as well as Jason Schwartzman, and of course Charlie Sheen plays Charlie White. So his character's name is Charlie Swan. We're going to show a really quick clip of that movie that's coming out. So the premiere is Tuesday, and the talk is on Monday. So we're setting that up.
Okay,
there we go.
You're a big fake liar.
You're incredibly irresponsible.
You don't listen. You're crazy. You're selfish. You're not the only person, Charles.
I thought it was different with her. But then, poof.
I don't want to be with you anymore.
I can't concentrate. I think of her every minute.
Whoa. Zing. Rewind. What did you do?
She said she didn't want to be in the drawer with all the other girls.
Well, obviously, I totally agree with that. I'm lost. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Look at that.
Howdy, ladies.
You hit?
No, but I think I might have pulled a muscle.
Are you a man? Of course I am. Show.
Because we're running out of time, but please go check out that movie, and it looks hysterical, and
I'm
I love.
already in.
You're right, right? No, it toggles in between imagination and reality, and that's just how artists see the world. So it's going to be great. So really quick, Phil has a question for you, which is,
what do I consider culture?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go back to the last outing that I had, which was with you.
You have 60 seconds.
Yeah, who cares? Well, he can run long. I don't care. Run long.
He's my producer. He gets to say that.
I get the point. Run long.
Okay.
I think food, for example, I think there's culture in it. I think there's sexiness in it. Again, I've had good food, but what you ordered, I don't even think was on the menu. But you kind of just close your eyes, and it kind of just paints all these different colors.
Oh, you mean we went out to dinner?
Yes.
Oh, yes. House in Venice.
I forgot we were at a table of 15, and things were going on, so I just kind of had to walk away from the table for a minute. But I think that's culture. I think there's.
We have a caller? We have a caller for Arvin.
Jeez, I can only imagine who this is going to be.
Anna. All right. Hello.
Don't we answer the phone?
I thought it was like you did. All right. We have Anna on the line. Hello.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi there. I am just so looking forward to Arvin going to those museums. I can't wait to listen to his reporting.
Right? He's going to have to. I'm going to make him go to a lot of them.
You want me
I agree.
I can do the reporting right now for the next 6 months. It was a building with walls and things.
You've never been there, so you need to go and experience it.
Exactly. Oh, really quick before I forget, I'm debating. I'm trying to make him leave Super Bowl Sunday to go to Pasadena Playhouse. He may not, but there's a lot of plays coming, so he's also going to have to go to the theater.
What straight man do you know that would choose a museum over a football game?
Well, I'm not asking you to go to a museum. It's a play, and it's
Not
a really brilliant play.
That's even worse.
No, I'm going to make him go to a play. You know, I should just make you go to a ballet just to do it.
You know what the last ballet was that I went to? I was probably about 7.
Okay, but you went to one. Good job.
It was the Nutcracker.
See, there, I went to the Nutcracker for the first time,
and
actually.
You know what it felt like?
Do I want to know?
What's the last play that you went to?
Wicked.
Oh, you saw Wicked?
I did.
How great was that?
It was Anna, I like you.
All I got to say is I could have sworn all I remember was flying monkeys.
Were you one of them? Right?
I got to say that I had no idea the concession stand sold that much booze.
Oh, well, it's probably for men that have to go with their girls. Oh, see, now I have somebody who says that he would choose a museum over a game any day. Because there are people who don't like football, just for the record.
Yeah, and they're probably in San Francisco.
No, I don't like football.
You're not a guy.
Although, you know what? That's not true. You know what? I gotta say I do. I actually love me some college football. I can't lie. And don't hate me, people, but I'm a Bruin fan all the way. So for all you Trojans out there. Yeah, no, I'm a Bruin fan. Okay, so really quickly, too, because if you can't go on Sunday, then I don't know what to tell you. Then Alexis is going if she can get off of her job. Otherwise, I have a ticket to go see Noel Coward.
Let's bring out the stalkers being like, I'm in.
No, I have a friend who I will take.
I'm not going to brunch with the wife. I'm in. You're going to get 100 emails just like that.
Okay, well, forget it. I'm going to take my go-to. I have a standby, my really good friend who I always go with. So if my producer / work husband can't go, and work husband, you see how that works out because there's nothing going on. It's so much easier. So his needs are met with the house cleaner. The house cleaner and the what was it? The house cleaner and the paid friend, and then we have Alexis if she can't go. But it's I want to tell you about the
if this is what a marriage is like, I can understand why people cheat. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, see the love. All right, so really quick, Fallen Angels is it's opening this week at the Pasadena Playhouse. It's Noel. Let me just pull everything up because I do not want to give the wrong information. I want to make sure you guys have the times and all of that. So hang on 2 seconds. Do not let me go to commercial just yet.
You better hurry.
I'm trying. I'm trying. So Fallen Angels. I just want to say that the media night, we get to have a special night. So I can't tell you when that is, but it opens on January. Oh no. Oh, the comedy will start. It's already performing, but our media night
tonight.
It starts tonight. Yep. So, and it goes on through the 24th.
And
also,
it's my birthday.
Oh, right. Yes, the 24th. We're going to hear about his birthday all month. I have a feeling. So
no, you won't.
Okay. So, anyways, it's
remember.
Noel Coward's Fallen Angels. Please go. It's got a really incredible cast. Sheldon Epps, and we have Elijah Alexander, Pamela Gray, and Mary Pat Green. Lauren Lester, Katie McNichol, Mike Ryan. So all of them have been in things that you've seen, including Law & Order. I don't really watch soap operas, but Hung, for those of you who've watched Hung, which is awesome. The Middle, Sons of Anarchy, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So anyways, please go if you get a chance to go. It's running through the 24th. I also want to mention Lovesick, which is at the Loft Ensemble downtown LA, running through the 24th. Go see what Larissa Weiss has created. It is beautiful. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for checking in. Tuesday is going to be a very wonderful exclusive interview with Sebastian Junger, and I can't wait to have him on. So thanks again. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.